In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Hello. Thank you for all who are watching us now and in the future. I am Night Ninja the Fear of All. Joining me is Oathkeeper the Brony. And, welcome to Secular Media Breakdown. And today we are covering the sequel to TRON, the original 1980s classic. Tron Legacy. And,
Yeah,
well, I have a feeling this is going to be an interesting breakdown here in general. So,
yeah.
I guess, what would you like to maybe start off on, my friend? Uh, would you just like to start by, excuse me, summing up how much you liked the movie, or
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good movie, like I said, where especially um, for, being a sequel to the original and all. Uh, yeah. Uh,
I kind of I feel so strongly about Tron thanks to Kingdom Hearts, as we've mentioned in our last secular media breakdown. But specifically, approaching this as Christians, breaking this down as secular media, it is even more of a trip, honestly.
yeah.
Down to, well, how much it's even biblical here in the sequel Legacy, which I gotta be real. I'm surprised that Disney didn't wasn't more successful with this one, simply because of how good of a movie it was to begin with for me. Because, granted, the original Tron was kind of an acquired taste for the time for people, due to how much technology just wasn't as familiar to everyone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to the story here, it's still very sci-fi esque, of course, but this was clearly directly inspired by Christianity in a variety of ways. As when you actually dive into uh, the behind the scenes of just the original Tron story alone, you end up discovering just how much Christianity really did inspire this story to begin with. And due to that, it becomes pretty interesting just how the original movie had Kevin Flynn, a character played by Jeff Bridges, who basically is like the true God who people don't realize is the true God, interestingly enough, in his story originally.
Yeah.
Since he has to literally end up uncovering the proof that he was the creator of the Space Paranoids uh, game that you have at the center of the original movie's plot line.
Yeah.
And due to this, um, it kind of says a lot that he goes through the whole point of even coming uh, to where his creation lives in the grid, in the original movie, all to be how he proves that, you know, that they aren't silly for believing in God in the first place.
Yeah.
And due to that, when we see Tron Legacy, it gets actually even more interesting, I'd say. Considering how the main character at the center of the storyline is Sam Flynn, his son. A son who thought that his father literally abandoned him, which is heartbreaking. It's why he also doesn't care to actually be head of NCOM directly, because he's thinking, why should I freaking try and live on my father's legacy if he fucking abandoned me?
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense that Sam Flynn would feel the way he does in the storyline. Down to how he is convinced by Alan Bradley, the creator of Tron, to literally go and get his father out of the grid, because Alan Bradley knows firsthand about the fact that the grid existed, and existed the way it did too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's why he takes it so seriously that he gets a page that he believes is from Kevin Flynn, because he knows where he probably disappeared in the first place. So you have Sam Flynn go to his dad's old arcade to discover the grid itself firsthand, in a way that he clearly wasn't expecting to. Because if anything, he probably, as a kid, thought of those stories that his dad told him being, well, fiction. Just fun stories that his dad was giving him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why it's also so significant how it's like he's a human discovering the biblical truth in his storyline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh my god, my dad's alive. Oh my god, the grid's real. Oh my god, that's Clue from the stories that I heard when I was a kid. It all merges together in such a beautifully poetic way, with how this is so biblically true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And due to this, he goes out of his way to try and be so selfless and try and help his dad get out of there in the end.
Yeah.
And you have Clue here, a character who clearly is meant to represent Satan in this storyline. The kind of character who clearly just wants to look at his own his own way of viewing the world selfishly, down to probably thinking that being selfish is being perfect somehow because that's for your own survival.
Yeah, good point.
So, due to this, he clearly was thinking that he was actually following his creator's uh, his creator's requests of him in the end. Due to that,
Yeah.
so of course he would also probably think that humanity isn't perfect enough to simply be uh, a part of a perfect system to begin with. Because probably how, let's be real, AI or a computer in general would view a so called perfect system is probably for self preservation above all else.
Yeah.
And due to this, that is why he goes out of his way to, for example, take over TRON. Because TRON is being taken over for the sake of the self-preservation for himself. And for those who are willing to serve him and look at how he handles things as perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Due to this, it really actually makes a lot of sense when you break it down like this.
Yeah.
Because chances are, in such a so called perfect system, a character like Clue would probably see the idea of being selfless over being selfish imperfect, because then in his mind probably throwing yourself away.
Yeah. That is true.
So when you really break it down like this, it actually makes sense, I guess, to some degree, why he is Satan in this story and why he is working the way he is, thinking he's gonna somehow complete that perfect system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for the ISOs as well, like Cora, prob the point probably is about how they are so selfless that that is why the Satan in this storyline is going out of his way to actually take them on, so to speak, to try
Yeah.
and wipe them out, because, oh, well, they're not perfect, so they can't be a part of the perfect system. I gotta wipe them out.
Yeah.
And of course, no wonder he probably sees normal programs as being more part of the perfect system because of programs being able to be programmed so on point for one specific purpose, hence being quote unquote perfect.
Yeah.
Now, they don't have the free will, so to speak, that humanity has more so, which is probably why Korra is in the position she is in.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you think about this viewpoint here so far?
It makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Yeah.
And of course,
Yeah.
by then, Clue is Satan because he is still somehow creating the perfect system for God. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true. Because um, because uh, in the in the Bible, it's revealed that Lucifer was created, or well, basically, Lucifer was the archangel that was in charge of worship, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
So, really, when you break this down in this sort of fashion, it really does make a lot of sense biblically in this storyline here.
Yeah.
Especially down to, of course, the end when you see Kevin Flynn literally give up his life for his own son. A selfless sacrifice, a la Jesus kind of situation there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the end, it really does come together to make a lot of sense, really. I'm just honestly surprised that it sounds like the new movie isn't carrying on from this.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, this is a very engaging storyline up to this point, especially too. To where there are certain things about this Tron Ares story that seems like it would have actually, made sense being how it continues too.
Yeah.
With the likes of the programs coming into the real world and seeing us as so imperfect that they have to try and kill us all off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really does just blow my mind. And I'm just surprised that this isn't more popular. I mean, if only because, let's be real here, just the original Tron alone is so poetic in many ways, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
And not only is that the case with the original Tron, but also Tron Legacy. Hell, I'd even say that also Tron Uprising is pretty engaging too. As someone who actually saw Tron Uprising from beginning to end as well, it all came together to form a very, very engaging storyline for Tron overall. Which is why I am admittedly hesitant to trust Disney with the new one. It's hard to not be
Yeah,
hesitant to trust them these days. You know?
yeah,
I mean, after all, they freaking ruined Star Wars too, pretty hardcore.
yeah, true.
But it might be worth breaking it down too, though. So it may still be worth checking out Ares very soon here. But I'm thinking if we are going to do that, I might end up actually just outright buying Tron Uprising as well, for the sake of us breaking that down as well as Tron Ares.
Yeah,
And at some point, I might also take a look at Tron 2.0 because it was at least an interesting enough storyline for that game. And it was made by the guys who were known as the developers behind Deus Ex, which is a pretty well known franchise. Have you ever heard of Deus Ex, buddy?
um, yeah, yeah. I think you've told me about it.
So, thing is,
Yeah, I've also.
I'm a little bit curious to make sure that we cover practically all of the Tron entries that we can here, especially when the other stuff might still be better too.
Yeah,
That being said, though, personally, this was always one of, if not my favorite Disney movie. I say one of because it's a little hard to compare it alongside some of the others that I was always such a huge fan of too, such as Atlantis: The Lost Empire, Lilo and Stitch, and also I'd say Treasure Planet as well. Like all of that, I'd say is probably some of the best stuff that is actually properly from Disney in the first place, rather than, being something that Disney just paid out for.
yeah,
And because of that, it's still a trip, and definitely I'm glad that Kingdom Hearts got me invested in Tron to begin with.
yeah,
Because the minute that I played Kingdom Hearts 2 and I saw the Space Paranoids world, it looked so trippy even back then. You know what I mean?
true.
And specifically, as as someone who knows it now, knows it from front to back, truly, it's such an engaging story that, I mean, I'd like to end up walking away enjoying Ares, but at the same time, it may end up being hard for me. Who's to say at this point?
Yeah,
But personally, I would give this movie a full on 10 out of 10. This is one of those few movies that I could say is just full on 10 out of 10 amazingness to me.
yeah,
And I say that, also loving plenty other things too, but this is just one of those things that that is so close to a perfect movie for me that it's not even funny. And
Yeah.
I'm I'm honestly more surprised every time I do see Tron fail when they actually do put some good effort into it. Cuz I'm even excited to still eventually play through all of Tron Evolution, let alone play through Tron 2.0, and also continuing to do these videos with you because this has been very fun to do with you, especially as a fellow Christian.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add, perhaps, too?
Well, with Clue, you brought up the whole point about like with the ISOs and stuff, him basically putting the people against each other, and like I was thinking about that in context of the games as well,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like the disc wars especially make it makes the programs fight each other for the entertainment,
Right.
like you know um
That actually does make a lot of sense right there.
yeah, yeah,
I just, wow. uh, well, I think that actually is going to probably be enough here for what we did cover, given the fact that I think we were thorough enough with how this does relate to the biblical truth here.
yeah.
And thank you to the two who did watch, to anyone who watches in the future. God bless you all. And, well, God bless the people who did make these movies because, if anything, I'd rather them freaking even get away from Disney in the end, too, at this point.
Yeah,
If only because I just can't really trust Disney anymore. It's at least very hard to do that. Well, God bless you all.
God bless you.
And thank you for joining me again, buddy.
uh, of course.
After all, I have a feeling that the more people we kind of get invested in videos like this, I think the better too. Because I think with us doing these kind of breakdowns, it's going to be enough of a open door for people to get interested just simply because, oh hey, it's a video on da da da. I loved that. What are they saying?
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
actually kind of thinking about the secular media parallel with the biblical truth.
yeah.
Just trying to think of what else.